we know that the fans are there,
Right.
and they're absolutely watching what's going on between these ropes
Right.
here.
Thousands and thousands.
Thousands and thousands.
Thousands of people have been watching this over the weekend.
So I tell you what you can do if you are watching this stream right now. What you can do is you can share it with your friends.
Yes.
You can tell them, push that like, that follow, that subscribe. And remember that Johnny Davis on Facebook, also go over and follow, like, and subscribe, because that's a part of the story also on YouTube
Yes.
that we want to tell. Because as we show that there's great followership,
Right.
the bigger people
Right.
will be more interested in wanting to get involved
Right.
and help push the sport to that next level.
Exactly.
And why is it important to go to the next level? Because these fighters deserve it. This atmosphere that they're getting in this amateur environment, they deserve it.
Yes.
They deserve it.
They put a lot of work in, a lot of discipline. They could be out there doing something a lot worse, right?
Absolutely.
You know, but instead, I just want to say thank you, Mason Melody. You know, they say that thank you for putting this out for us to watch. I have and will continue to share the promotion. That's what we want to hear a little bit more of, to be honest with you, because it kind of seems like a little ungratefulness going on. You know, when so many people were beating us up about the bad stream on last night.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, look, we don't have to do this at all.
That's right.
All right? So thank you so much for, you know, the compliment and everything like that, Mason. We certainly do appreciate it and all, because it's a labor of love. It really is, you know, to try to make this happen for our sport.
And help me, Johnny Davis, to kind of clear the air also, because in this particular tournament, unlike some of the ones before, there have been a few more lower blows in these matchups. Speak to how that happens, and on an amateur level, it's not uncommon.
One of the things that I noticed about this tournament, that we had a lot of novice divisions. A lot of novice divisions. That's what it means, novice. That means that you're not as experienced as an open division fighter. And not being that experienced, right, we're going to say, hey, when this other guy's leg is up, maybe I shouldn't kick, right? But instead, if you're a novice, you kick a lot of times just because you think it's open.
Yeah.
You don't anticipate the other guy's kicks or anything like that. So each of these novice fighters kick each other in the groin. Right? So that's why we've seen a lot of groin, and that also goes for the knees.
That's right.
I was explaining about the knees, of how they'll get into a clinch, and they start picking up their knees, both of them.
Yep.
That's not the way a pro does it. The way a pro does it, he anticipates that if you are lackluster, he has an opening. Bam, hit his knees.
Yeah.
He just don't knee. Then hopefully he'll get something. Anytime you see someone just knee, unless they have a good clinch,
right,
where the person is in a position where they can't knee back or pick up their legs, they can knee all they want, right? But if you get two guys in there just knee, somebody's going to hit somebody in the groin.
Russell Smith fighting out of the red corner. Juan Carlos fighting out of the blue is what you're watching on your screen at the moment. So as we progress here and we wind up back in Myrtle Beach in March, now you've got some other things that you're doing as well. PKB, talk about that.
The PKB, as I said, is the incubator for these fights. It is the thing that we established over 20-some years ago. Actually, it's my program. I'm president of the organization. And what we did was we said, you know what, there needs to be a crossover, an incubator process for these fighters as opposed to jumping in the ring in the full contact. And as a result of that, you know, we have incubated tens of thousands of fighters into the ring more safely than they were doing before. So a lot of these novice guys, if you will, go in here, look a lot more poised, better defense, better offense, better conditioning because of my program like the PKB, the Point Muay Thai Kickboxing Sparring Tournament. And I also established one for boxing. Now that's interesting, if you will, because what I've done with the PBSC, the Point Boxing Sparring Circuit, is that, hey, it's the same thing as the PKB, but boxing. So boxing does not have a semi-contact program.
Imagine that.
Never has anyone established a semi-contact program for boxing. USA Boxing is everything is about trying to knock each other out.
Wow.
right? And so now I have that program, and it's growing. We're having great tournaments with this, and it's really something exciting too. So that whole concept of semi-contact sparring is something that I'm very proud of, and it's helped these events become more successful.
You're even doing your work in the middle of the country as well. Chad Muller was with us earlier.
Yes. Some good
in the
combinations
tournament.
going on right here too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. And he was talking about the work that you guys are doing there in Illinois
Yes.
and the PKB
Yes.
and how that's helping to foster the growth in the middle of the country for kickboxing.
Absolutely. You know, we had a first tournament there a few months ago. During the COVID era, and I will tell you that we had like 60-some fighters in the very first tournament.
Wow.
It was really exciting. People had a great time, and he has a really nice handle in that area, right? And he has supporters that we feel that kind of like Georgia here, that eventually we're going to be able to go over to Illinois and put on a tournament like this. Right, so the people that I work with, it's all about their level of commitment, right? If they work hard like Lori Hubbard does here with Thai Top Team, they're committed, they do what they say they're going to do, they do what I ask them to do, and all of that, then we can go to those areas and bring these exciting events, to different states. And that is the plan across the country that we're going to do, but we just can't do it with anybody. We got to know if they work ethic first. If I go to a PKB and it's all disorganized and disoriented and everything else, that tells me a lot that not to try something like this.
Right.
Hey, Maya Angelou, when a person tells you who they are, believe
them. And when you see it, believe your eyes.
You just believe it. Okay, you told me that you're not really serious about this. I believe you.
Nice kick there from Russell Smith. Staggers one.
Nope, too long. Right, so you can't. Oh, boy. Check out those ropes. Are they too loose? That bottom rope is a little loose there.
Yeah.
I think they actually like for the bottom rope to be loose so that when guys fall, I think it does not much of a snap on their neck.
Right.
But the other rope should be pretty secure if a guys fall on the rope.
So we saw earlier some of the younger guys, the 90-pound, 95-pounders come in here, the little guys. Now, for those who don't know anything about the sport,
Right.
Explain the importance of the little guys getting involved with the sport.
Well, the whole idea is that's even the PKB again is even more important. I have some parents and some trainers who, want to throw their kids into full contact without even trying it in the semi. It's so, oh my God, it throws me. I say, you don't have to do that anymore. Put them in the PKB. Let's see what like earlier we saw this little kid. I don't know who won the match or whatever, but the guy was a little bit taller. These guys were all about 8 years old.
Yeah.
I only saw part of it because I was busy doing some things. Well, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This little guy was just really, he knew exactly what he was
Yep.
doing.
Yep.
He would move around. He was throwing big overhand rights. He was working the legs. I'm like, oh my gosh. We have such a great sport. And I'm so proud that we're building it, right? And we're going to have something down the road that these fighters and trainers of today who's supporting events like this can be really super proud of being a supporter of it today for a greater day tomorrow.
All right, so this one comes to a close here. Russell Smith, and we'll get you a winner on this one. Then we're going to take a break. And then the next time we will be back with you, by the way, for those of you who are counting, that's fight number 13. We're going to take a break, and then I want to come back when we're doing right here, around about 16.
Noah Lawson
Yeah.
and Deuce Carter.
Yeah.
Listen, we have some people waiting on Hugo Rivera. They're out of California.
Let's see.
So when we go to show a spot, we're going to cash app you right now. If you're making a request.
Yep.
You're making a request. If you want a request, I'm going to put my cash app right here on thing. And if you want to see a fight, you got to pay for it. I know, right? You know what? Don't get me wrong. I joke about that, but there's a little bit of truth to that. That maybe we need to do something like that because people at home, a lot of people are not going to come from California.
That's right. But
they want to see it. But
they want to see it.
We're not going to do that today. Don't worry, guys. But we're all going to show Hugo Rivera.
Yeah.
And and here's the story about Hugo. Now, so
hang on 1 second. Here's Bruce Boss.
Yes, okay. All right, good job.
All right.
Yeah, we got like Hugo Rivera actually is a fighter that used to fight on my cards in California.
Really?
He came, and see, a lot of people are starting to come from California because I kind of built up a little bit of a